Everything changed when they brought home a statue from a murder house made from grave soil. The film begins with a game development company sending 2 members of their team to scan an abandoned house that is known to be extremely haunted. This house is not just an ordinary empty building, but the site of a horrific tragedy where all the family members were found dead, murdered by the wife herself, a well-known sculptor named Mei-chan. Her name was quite famous across Asia because of her artworks, which made the case even more shocking to the public. However, there is still one mystery that remains unsolved to this day, which is the disappearance of Mei-chan's body after the incident. This is where we are introduced to Ah Yi and his partner, Chang, who are assigned to scan every part of the house for their horror game project. As they enter the house, a tense and unsettling atmosphere immediately surrounds them, as the place is left untouched, dirty, messy, and filled with Mei-chan's sculptures scattered throughout the rooms. The tension starts to rise when a family photo frame suddenly falls on its own right in front of Ah Yi. Even so, Chang tries to calm him down by saying that fear only comes from the human mind. However, things take a darker turn when they move down to the basement. There, Chang finds a statue that is still intact and stands out from the others, then hands it over to Ah Yi. On the back of the statue, there appears to be some kind of writing that looks important, but before they can figure it out, a soft whisper suddenly echoes in Ah Yi's ear, telling him to return the statue. Startled, Ah Yi reflexively drops it, causing the head of the statue to break off. Without realizing it, that moment becomes the beginning of something far more dangerous, as the broken statue seems to release something that had been sealed inside all this time. In panic, Ah Yi tries to leave the place, but his movement is suddenly stopped when a large shelf collapses onto him, leaving him lying on the ground covered in blood, and the blood accidentally flows onto the statue. As Chang tries to help him, he is shocked by something that makes no sense. Ah Yi, who was badly injured just moments ago, suddenly stands up in an unnatural state, like someone who is no longer himself. Terrified, Chang slowly backs away, trying to escape. But before he can get away, something from the darkness grabs his leg and drags him into a furnace. The story then shifts to Felix and his wife, Ling, a couple who are currently in the happiest phase of their lives. Felix plays an important role in the horror game project, while Ling lives her daily life as a housewife who also enjoys carving wood. Their happiness feels even more complete because Ling is pregnant, and they have even prepared the name Vinny for their unborn child.
这个作品只需要清洁。
Meanwhile, the team at the office begins to grow anxious as they wait for Ah Yi, who was supposed to have returned with the scanning results. Not long after, Ah Yi finally shows up, bringing the data along with the statue from the house. However, something about him has changed drastically. He becomes quiet, often looks terrified, and starts saying strange things, as if warning people to stay away. Unfortunately, his condition is not taken seriously by his superior, who only cares about the results he brought. The development task is then handed over to Felix, who is asked to complete the early stage of the project as soon as possible. He brings home all the scanning data, including the statue that unknowingly will become the source of disaster. Amid his busy and stressful work, Felix still finds peace every time he returns home, where Ling always welcomes him warmly. Their home life feels complete, becoming the reason for Felix to keep going despite the harshness of the outside world. In one of their quiet moments, Felix creates a miniature version of his family, including a figure representing their future child. As time goes by, Felix begins to dig deeper into Mei-chan's background and the history of the house that will be used as the main setting for his game project. From various sources he finds, including a recorded video, it is revealed that Mei-chan had an unusual method in creating her sculptures, one of which involved using soil taken from graves. Slowly, without being fully realized, the atmosphere inside Felix's home begins to change. Strange occurrences start to appear subtly, beginning with Felix experiencing moments where he feels like he is seeing more than one version of Ling, as if there is another presence mimicking his wife.
老公，你要吃了吗？老公。
Before he can fully process what is happening, one night, Ling wakes up after hearing the sound of a door opening. Still half asleep, she walks toward the kitchen to get a drink, but her steps stop when her attention is drawn to the statue Felix brought home from work. From that moment on, their house begins to be filled with strange occurrences that cannot be seen directly, some of which are only captured through the CCTV cameras. Unaware of the danger lurking around her, Ling approaches the statue and observes it more closely. Suddenly, she hears a whisper calling her name, startling her and causing her to accidentally cut her finger, and a drop of her blood falls onto the statue. Without realizing it, that small incident becomes the beginning of something much bigger as the evil presence starts to take Ling as its new host. The changes in Ling become noticeable the next day. She becomes forgetful, starts doing unusual things, and even consumes things that should be avoided during pregnancy. Her emotions also become unstable, making her easily irritated with Felix for no clear reason. At first, all of these changes are assumed to be caused by her pregnancy. At the same time, the story introduces Liu, Mei-chan's younger sister, who now manages all of her late sister's artistic works. When Felix meets her to request permission to use the house as part of his game project, Liu shows a deep curiosity about what really happened in the past, as she cannot believe that her sister would commit such a horrific act against her own family. Meanwhile, the early demo of the game Felix is working on begins to take shape, and the result feels so realistic that even Felix himself becomes frightened when experiencing it. However, behind the progress of the project, the situation at home continues to worsen. The terror that Ling experiences becomes more intense, marked by the return of the whisper, this time seemingly asking for something more: blood. At one point, Ling looks at her reflection in the mirror, but something feels off. The reflection does not fully follow her movements, as if it has a will of its own. Unable to resist, Ling slowly follows the movement of her reflection, as if being forced to hurt herself until blood begins to drip again onto the statue. With every drop of blood given, the influence of the evil presence grows stronger, and the once broken statue is gradually repaired by Ling without her full awareness.
看，谁等你一周啊？要多久？手动处理。
Even more suspicious, parts of the writing on the statue seem to have been deliberately erased. As Ling's behavior becomes increasingly drastic, Felix begins to grow suspicious. Although he initially tries to convince himself that everything is simply caused by her pregnancy, the series of events becomes too unnatural to ignore. In the middle of this confusion, Felix receives a call from Ah Yi, the first person who brought the statue back. In a state of panic, Ah Yi repeatedly asks for help, but is unable to clearly explain what is happening. Feeling both concerned and curious, Felix decides to visit him in person. However, what he finds is far more terrifying than he expected. Ah Yi appears to be in an unnatural state, overwhelmed with fear, as if he is under the influence of something deeply evil. At the same time, back at home, Ling, now fully influenced by the evil presence, performs a ritual using a doll as a medium. Without realizing it, what Ling is doing is directly connected to Ah Yi's condition. Every action done to the doll affects Ah Yi's body, until eventually his body can no longer endure it. In his final moments, Ah Yi manages to mention something about the back of the statue, as if trying to give an important clue. But before he can explain further, he dies, leaving Felix frozen in shock as he witnesses Ah Yi's death right in front of him. Using the final clue from Ah Yi about the back of the statue, Felix begins to realize that there is something hidden within it. His suspicion pushes him to examine the writing carved on the back more carefully. After conducting research and consulting with others, he eventually discovers that the writing is not just an ordinary carving, but an ancient mantra written in Taoist script, a form of writing known to contain secret techniques and hidden meanings. Unfortunately, the mantra is incomplete because parts of it are missing, making it difficult to fully understand. Realizing his limitations, Felix is then advised to seek someone more knowledgeable in this field, a practitioner named Ah Sheng, who is known for his deep understanding of various mantras and rituals. Without wasting any time, Felix meets Ah Sheng and explains everything that has happened. After studying the remaining text, Ah Sheng attempts to reconstruct the missing parts by predicting the most likely arrangement of words. His efforts pay off, and he finally concludes that the mantra is a binding spell used to seal evil spirits so they cannot escape. Understanding the danger they are facing, Felix immediately brings Sheng to his house to check Ling's condition. However, as soon as they arrive, the situation becomes tense, as if their presence triggers a reaction from the evil entity that has already taken control of Ling. With no time to lose, Sheng begins a ritual using salt and paper talismans to restrain the spirit's movement. He tries to pull the entity out of Ling's body, but its strength is far beyond what he expected. During the process, the spirit even attempts to transfer itself and attack Sheng, making the situation even more dangerous. Although Sheng manages to hold it back temporarily and tries to return it to the statue, the attempt fails as the spirit repeatedly escapes and re-enters Ling's body. In the end, Sheng can only suppress it for a short time by sealing it within Ling while he searches for another solution.
踩到眼，一化万事。不出来！
With time running out, Sheng asks how long the statue has been in Felix's house. When Felix answers that it has been 6 days, Sheng's expression turns serious. He explains that if the evil spirit remains inside Ling's body for more than 7 days, it will completely take over her body and she will no longer be saved. This means they only have until the next morning to find a solution before it is too late. Sheng becomes increasingly confused as the spirit's strength is unnatural if it only comes from consuming human blood. This leads him to suspect that there is something deeper tied to the origin of the statue. To uncover the truth, the only person who can help is Liu, Mei-chan's younger sister, who shares a blood connection with her. Without wasting time, Felix and Sheng bring the unconscious Ling to Liu's house. When Liu sees the statue, she is shocked and questions why Felix did not inform her about it from the beginning. Realizing how little time they have left, Sheng decides to perform a special ritual that allows them to see into the past. Since the ritual requires a blood relative, Liu becomes the only one capable of doing it.
跟着我念咒的速度，不能快。我一炷香的话就回不来。
During the ritual, Liu can only observe without interacting with what she sees. Through the visions, it is revealed that Mei-chan was pregnant at the time. She is seen digging soil from a graveyard to use as material for her sculptures. However, a tragic event occurs when Mei-chan suffers severe bleeding, causing her to lose her unborn child. The loss completely shatters her mental state, leaving her unable to accept reality. In that condition, Mei-chan does something beyond reason. Instead of burying the baby, she mixes it with graveyard soil and uses it as the main material to create a statue. The process continues with burning, resulting in a statue that is no longer just an object, but a vessel for an evil spirit. From that moment, the spirit is born, and without control, it eventually takes over Mei-chan, leading her to kill her entire family.
这会把土里的灵魂炼化。
When she finally regains her awareness, it is already too late, and overwhelming regret consumes her. In an attempt to fix what she has done, Mei-chan writes a sealing mantra on the head and back of the statue to trap the spirit inside. She then locks herself in the furnace room with the statue, ending her life in flames as a form of atonement. From what they witness, Felix and Sheng finally discover the location of Mei-chan's body as well as the true origin of the statue's power. With this new understanding, they begin to form a plan to end everything. Sheng will search for Mei-chan's remains to use as a new vessel for the evil spirit, while Felix is tasked with finding the broken piece of the statue's head, as it is believed to play a crucial role in the sealing process. With only time left until morning, Felix, Sheng, and Ling, who is still unconscious, return to Mei-chan's house to carry out their plan.
欲尽之，以形骸。
Before splitting up to handle their respective tasks, Sheng gives Felix a talisman as a final form of protection in case something goes wrong. The plan is set in motion as time continues to run out. Sheng heads back into the house to search for Mei-chan's body directly, while Felix uses virtual reality technology to revisit the scanned layout of the house. With the entire interior recorded in detail, Felix is able to explore every corner virtually and search for the missing piece of the statue's head more quickly and efficiently.
进去就是照妖室啊！
the real world, Ah Sheng has to face various disturbances from unseen entities trying to stop him, but despite the difficulty, he eventually manages to find Mei Chan's body hidden inside the furnace. At nearly the same time, Felix also succeeds in locating the broken piece of the statue's head within the virtual simulation. However, the situation suddenly takes another turn when Ling, who was previously inside the car, mysteriously disappears without a trace. From that moment on, everything spirals into chaos. The terror that was once only felt now directly attacks them. Ah Sheng becomes trapped inside the furnace room, while Felix is forced to face Ling, who is now completely under the control of the evil spirit. In a desperate situation, Felix uses the talisman given by Ah Sheng to hold back Ling's attack, which briefly brings her back to her senses. Felix continues trying to calm her, urging her to fight against the influence controlling her. Meanwhile, Ah Sheng quickly reconstructs the mantra based on the recovered fragment of the statue's head and begins writing it onto talisman paper to trap the spirit. He attempts to transfer the spirit into Mei Chan's skull as a new vessel, but the attempt fails once again because the spirit has grown far stronger than expected. The situation becomes even worse when they realize that the evil spirit is not only controlling Ling, but is also beginning to grow through the baby inside her. In this condition, Ah Sheng reveals the only remaining option, to seal the spirit within the baby using the mantra. However, this choice would cost the baby's life, something Felix cannot accept. A painful dilemma arises between saving their unborn child or saving Ling, whose life is slipping away. Felix refuses this option and insists on finding another way, because he cannot bear to lose both of them. He believes there must be another solution, and this belief comes from something he once read in Ah Sheng's book, that an evil spirit can be transferred into another living body. Without hesitation, Felix chooses to sacrifice himself and become the new vessel for the spirit in order to save Ling and their child. As the spirit begins to transfer into his body, Felix struggles to hold on to his fading consciousness, even losing control at one point and nearly harming Ling. But in his final moment of clarity, Felix regains control just long enough to stab himself and asks Ah Sheng to seal his body before it is too late. With a heavy heart, Ah Sheng does what must be done, and in the end, the evil spirit is successfully sealed inside Felix, costing him his future for the sake of his family. Time passes, and Ling eventually gives birth to their child safely. Life slowly begins to move on, even without Felix by her side. One day, Ling receives a package from the company where Felix used to work, containing a virtual reality device. When she tries it, she sees Felix, able to interact with her as if he were still alive. Even though Ling knows it is only a virtual world, it helps ease the sense of loss she feels. However, the story does not truly end there. In the final part, the cursed statue that started everything somehow ends up in Liu's possession, even though it was last seen left behind in Mei Chan's house. It is unclear how she obtained it, but from the expression on her face, it seems like she is planning something. Meanwhile, Felix's fate is not truly over. After his body becomes the vessel and is sealed, he does not die, but instead exists somewhere unknown, as if deliberately hidden from the outside world. It is never explained who brought him there or where exactly that place is, leaving his existence as a mystery. Until now, Felix's consciousness has not completely disappeared, raising one lingering question: whether the person who took him will help him break free from the sealed evil spirit within him, or if he will eventually be fully consumed by it. And this is where the story truly comes to an end.